Welcome back, and today we are going to be flying out the F-100F from the new Constructors event. Is this thing worth it? Is it any good? Well, let's first go over the facts here and see what it's actually good and what it's not so good at. It doesn't have flares, it's heavier than the F-100D, it has less guns than the F-100D, half of them to be exact, but it also has less than half the ammo. You go from 200 rounds per gun to 175 rounds per gun, which is a bit of a detriment, especially since the guns are going to be your main killing power. The AIM-9Es aren't exactly fantastic. They do get the job done when you are looking at people that aren't really paying attention, people from far range, and maybe if people are stalled out. Cases like that. Other than that, the AIM-9Es are mostly just a tool to get people to turn, force people not to stall out and stuff like that. And then I'm also carrying rocket pods for flares. I have one pod of Mighty Mouses. This does kinda attract the attention of stuff like Gepards, but overall it is nice to have, especially against planes like the A-10 that will just go head on with you any chance they will get. And in the meantime, in the background here, we have a Mirage 3 that's making sure that no one gets the F-100F by just simply team killing everyone. Absolute trooper, this guy. I salute you for your service, making sure that no one has to suffer through this plane. But let's be real for a second here. Events have been shafting air players for generations now. The last 4 rewards out of all of them have basically been attackers. We have the Tornado, the Su-25BN, we have the A7K as well as the Jaguar, and now we finally get a quote-unquote fighter, and it's one of the worst fighters at the BR. That is worse than one of the worst fighters at the BR. Is this thing the worst? I can't tell for certain, but it's definitely up there. It's an absolute boat, but I don't want to drag on too long about it. We are here to look at some gameplay, we are not here to look at me rant. F-104 comes in, of course going to make sure that I can't really dogfight this F-5C, and I'm not going to be able to anyway. The F-5C overshot, he had much more energy, I air broke, I dumped away all my speed. He did the same thing, trying to stay on me, so now I have the ability to somewhat get away from him. But I want to take a look just at how painful it is to kill one of these planes. And this is a plane that you will run into very often, and you're about to run into them even more because of 2 reasons. It will go on sale relatively quickly here, and it's rank 7 now, so it's a lot more flown out because people can now actually grind top tier with the F5C, and we all know that it's one of the most popular planes in the game. I can't give you an exact number, but if I look at my referral link, the F5C is by far the most bought pack premium that people have bought through me. Now of course I can't talk for the other content creators because I literally only look at RRB basically, so maybe my sales are a little bit more skewed. But the F5C is hella popular and it's a plane you can't really do much against. It outbreaks you, it out dogfights you, it's faster than you. It has the same guns but more ammo, it has the same missiles but slightly less of them. But as I said, the guns are going to be your main selling point. Of course, it's a much higher BR. However, at 9.3, I have not gotten a singular game below 10.0. 10.0 has been the lowest BR that I've seen in this thing. Of course, it's 9.3 or 9.0 till 10.0, but still, it's almost impossible to deal with this plane. Unless they fly straight away from you, like this F5 does. Or maybe, like this Su-25 tries to land. Maybe those are the kind of players that you will shoot down with this vehicle. But even without the jokes, the F5C had no issue trying to kill me. He would have killed me if I didn't have a friendly around, and even in that 2v1 setting, I struggled. And if he had flared that missile, I wouldn't have killed him, he would have ran away, and I could have done nothing about it. And then after the landing, there's 2 guys in front of us, the F5C is ground pounding, so I'm able to actually kind of pitch up into him and shoot him down as he is slow. Pretty opportune, he didn't really see me until too late, he dodged way too early and he basically floated into my guns. And even those kind of shots don't always result into kills because your main armament is your gun. But at most of the time you're gonna end up with more kills on your AIM-9E, and that's just because this thing is an absolute boat. It's very hard to line up your guns. Paired with the fact that this thing does not have the burst mass, the sprayability, and just the stopping power in general to really down people quickly, makes this thing an absolute chore to fly. Because whenever you look at, if they are paying attention to you, you are not gonna be really killing them. Unless of course you get down tiered, but I've not gotten a singular example other than the planes that up tiered themselves into the last match that I'm about to show you. That's the best example that I have from an up tier. There is still going to be 9.0 till 10.0, but there's some 8.3s, some 9.0s, and I think an 8.7 as well, probably in the squad. But in general, You're not gonna be seeing many of those planes unless people up tier themselves into your bracket. Now, let's take a look at some actual gameplay here. And we are above everyone. Now, we can maybe do something here because we are in a decent position. We do have rocket for flare, so we can actually go somewhat slow and try to stall these people out. That's really the only way you are going to be killing people reliably, by basically coming in Mach 1 while they are going 500 to 600 kilometers an hour, and you can just open up the gap long enough or far enough to the point where you can just pull in. And I'm going to try to pull into this F5C, and look at the amount of room that I need. I almost got it, but I misjudged it by like 5 meters. If I had pulled like half a second later, I would have killed that guy. Unfortunately, that is not going to happen here. The issue is that the F5C he doesn't need to have hands even. All he needs to do is make sure that he doesn't get hit and that he keeps his speed somewhat. Keep in mind, I came into this fight with a lot of extra energy. And I'm still struggling this hard to kill the guy. Now, I shot the rockets there in case someone shot a missile at me. Squeeze the trigger to shoot the F5C as he's going pretty slow in the same circular motion as the first F5 that I killed in the video. Go head on with the F3H, kill him instantly because he full commits into the head on. F3H is another one of those super sad planes. It might actually be even worse than this thing is. F5C overshoots because we are going too slow and we air broke a little bit. We get a shot in, but we don't hit it because this guy is actually able to dodge our guns. Now, I'm going to pitch up after him for a little bit longer in the hope that he overcommits into the stall here and he basically stalls himself out. But he actually goes into maneuvers and I need to actually get away from him. But then he does the worst thing he could have done and kind of turn into the way where I'm falling. So I'm able to stick onto his 6. And he is playing this all wrong. But please notice that even though this guy is making a tremendous amount of mistakes, he's not playing this as well as he could. He is throwing the fight basically, and I'm still struggling to kill this guy. I got in one shell in, I got in a hit, it did absolutely nothing, and now he's just able to fly away from me. And I know, I'm fighting a very light, designated fighter in a bit of a dogfight, and this thing is not made to do such a thing. But keep in mind, you are going to be running into this plane virtually every match, and even though this is not supposed to be a fair matchup, I am still not a fan of the compression that we are at right now, because these planes are not only 1 BR apart. This is absolutely unwinnable. Now we pull in because he kind of just flies in front of our guns. We shoot him with our last few rounds and we set him on fire. And that's basically the end of this game. We then go head on with the Ariete. We miss, we go RTB. And then we lose or win on tickets. I am not sure what happened, but I didn't die. So that's absolutely fantastic. Of course, I've never died, but looking at the Su-25, the most amount of crits, let's call it crits, the most amount of crits that I have received from enemy players or even friendlies are all the same thing. And you might think, well, it must be the all aspect missiles or the good missiles, right? No, the thing that has crit me the most in this yeah, the thing that has crit me the most has been ramming. It happens constantly, and it's mainly because I am not able to pull out of the way myself. You can be mid-dogfight, you can be in a head-on like in that thing, and by the second you notice you are about to ram someone, it is too late. This thing is on rails, it doesn't roll, it doesn't pull, and you just kind of slam right into people. And it's really annoying. And I've had, I think, 2 or 3 times in a dogfight as well, where if I didn't pull out, I would have gotten a force of habit, I would have rammed the enemy guy. Now I'm almost inclined to take it, because that's the best ability that I'm going to get in killing the enemy player. But it's annoying, because enemies don't really react to your plane, and very often in a dogfight as well, you will notice that they are overshooting, they are pulling into your guns, and they don't even bother dodging your shot. Because I don't think a lot of people are even realizing what's about to happen. So very often, and I'm not going to say very often like it happens every game, but I've crashed into people 3 times, I've almost crashed into people 3 times. And that's more than I can remember happening to me in the last 3 years. And I'm not making a scene here or over-exaggerating, and that's how bad it is. Just like right here, he corrects his fight path. If I decide to go for that head-on right there, I am probably not even getting the shot, because this thing is too much of a boat. And I'm ramming him because I'm not able to pull out. And he is, this instance, too slow to really do anything about it. And these are not the ones I count for almost ramming someone. I'm talking about the ones where I am actively in a dogfight and I'm about to just slide into someone if I don't take evasive actions about 3 seconds before it happens. If I'm too late, I'm done. Now we get everyone on our 6, we have an F-8U on our 6, as well as some subsonic planes, and I'm not really too worried about the subsonics, except this F-8U will catch me, he accelerates better, he will outrun me as well. But the main issue here is the fact that he is accompanied by like 3 subsonic planes. The subsonic planes here are not the main issue. Luckily I have a teammate around, the A5C has been a very good help throughout this entire match. And he goes for the right target, he goes for the F-8U. The F-8U just doesn't give a shit and he just keeps going for us. But he does take the heat off me and all the subsonics are now going for him. So I'm gonna try to reverse the F-8U. I need to go slower than him because I am not able to outturn him. So I need to dump all my speed, instantly get on him. And the F-8U notices that he brakes too late and he just keeps flying straight. I can't really do anything about that, but at least he's off my 6. I am now able to actually get away, get a little breathing room. And I'm able to engage other people. We have an F3H on our right as well as the F4J. And then we have the other group at the F4D, the G91Y that just crashed into the BN. As well as the F9F that's together with the A5. And we are able to actually do something because we are fighting planes that this thing can somewhat hang with. The F3H and the FJ4. Now, neither of these planes are particularly great in RRB, but that's why I can actually do something about them, because I have a lot of entry speed, and I do have an afterburner, I do accelerate better than these guys, and I am able to just energy trap them. So I'm pulling this F3H into a spiral. I notice the other Q5 coming in, this guy's absolutely stalled out, easy money, and then he misses. A little bit unlucky, but we are able to just flip on over and get directly on the F3H's 6. Now, this guy is too slow, and this is when these missiles are fantastic. This dude is not going to be pulling out of it, he doesn't have flares, and easy kill. And that's why the missiles are good. They are good versus flareless planes that you are able to stall out, so you don't need to pull a hell of a lot of lead, and then gun them down and miss them, or get a crit, or get some other bullshit thrown your way. The missiles are grateful when you have people stalled out, but that really only happens in down tiers, because in your own tier, enemies will always have flares basically, and everyone will just flare them, everyone will just kind of pull away, and a lot of enemies that you will run into, they can just pull out of the way even at the lower speeds, because they pull enough AOA to just turn the engine away from the seeker head, which is very, very annoying. Now the F4J is hella slow, so we line up the shot, shoot the missile, and the second we shoot it, we noticed in the chat that the guy has crit him already. So I thought I was about to steal it, so I said but he got crit in the time he was underneath my plane, and the camera was obstructed by the fat bitch that's in front of your screen right now. And no, I'm not gonna make a your mother joke, because your mother is way fatter than this plane is. And then the F9F comes in. I mean, he's just full committing. You can tell by his trajectory that he just doesn't give a shit. So we shoot a few rounds, we crit him, and we just kind of loop on over. He's probably gonna try to RTB or whatever. And all we need to do at this point is make sure that that doesn't happen, but we have the energy, we have the speed, and he is crit, so he can't really do much. So all in all, it's just a matter of lining it up, shooting, and he doesn't even bother dodging, and he just flies into my shells. Then the A10, last guy, we shot our rockets off to shed some weight, but this guy might still have missiles left, so I'm kind of worried about engaging him, but we completely boxed him in. MiG-23 in front, A5 on his left, me on his right, A5 misses, and we kind of come in full speed and just kind of clean him up. He's on fire, he's going to burn up, he's going to crash, and then the F8U gets domed by the A5, and we both end up with a bit of an ace and winning the game. Is this thing worth your money? Is this thing worth your time? I think you got your answer, and you'll see me in the next one.